6:40 and I am showered, dinner cooking, and full skincare done, and I am so happy. I'm pretty sure this is like the first time in a very long time where I've been able to be this chill on a Monday, just because work has been so busy. But I wanted to do like a little video of just like what my evenings or nights kind of look like working from home. But I also really want to do a video today because I did something so outside of character recently, and I placed a pretty big book order for me on Amazon because they're having like their competition sale with Target, because if we're all boycotting Target, as we should, all of like their competitors are running like the same deals that Target is doing right now. Amazon's having the same one, which isn't much better than Target, but I fell victim to it because I have been wanting a couple of books, and they had their buy two get one free on Amazon, and there's like a couple that I wanted, and then I saw that there was another one that was really cheap, so I went ahead and treated myself to some books, which I really did not need to do. So we're just gonna do a little unboxing together. I feel like I never do unboxings anymore. I think like the video on my channel that has the most views is an unboxing and like any person who wants to create online have been trying to chase that high ever since and just haven't gotten it, and also just didn't want to cave in to like the consumerism when it comes to viewership, or like having an online platform, of realizing that people love watching you unboxing things even when you don't necessarily need those things. So I was trying not to fall for that, but I think with a treat for myself, it'd be fun for us to just do this together right now. I'm so excited. So yeah, I got 4 books. Yay, they all shipped really well. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, so the first one that really prompted this was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I read this book last year, and I read it on my Kindle, and I absolutely loved it, devoured it. It's like a book that I think about quite often. It was fun, it was easy to read, and it was actually funny. Like, I was actually laughing out loud, and I knew as soon as I finished it back in like, I want to say September. I don't really know when I read this book. I remember when I read this book, I was like, oh, I need the physical copy because I think it's gonna be one of my new favorite books. I've always been the kind of person who's like, just because I read it on a Kindle doesn't mean I need to get the physical copy. But I think last night or maybe 2 nights ago, I was like, oh, I really want to read it again, and I don't want to read it on my Kindle, and like knowing that I loved it so much, I don't feel bad for wanting it. So I went ahead and treated myself to the actual physical copy of it. I'm like 3 chapters into my reread right now, but I was trying to read it slow on my Kindle so I could wait for the physical copy to get here. So I'm so excited that this is here. So I got that book, and then when I went online and I saw that it was buy 2 get 1 free, I was like, okay, I might as well, because I've also have really been wanting Between Lovers and Friends, or Between Friends and Lovers. I've been wanting this for so long. I read the sample months ago, and it's just not on Libby, and it's like on Kindle, but like if I'm paying for a Kindle book, I might as well just get the actual book in my head. So it wasn't anywhere for me to read for free, and I've just really have been wanting to read this, and it's also a Black author, so I don't feel bad for buying it. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and I really liked the beginning of it, so that one's a really fun thing. So I got those 2 books, and I was like, I could finish it here, but like I'm getting a book for free, so I might as well get a 3rd one. So it's A Torch Against the Night, which is the 2nd book in the An Ember in the Ashes series. I got this book because it was the free book. It was like $8, but it was free, so I just got it. And I remember I read the first book, An Ember in the Ashes, last year, and I really loved it, and I knew I wanted to read the whole series, but I've just been taking my time with reading in general. I'm like probably like 2 or 3 chapters into this book already on my Kindle once again, but I already knew that I really liked the series, so I don't feel bad for like getting the book. So yeah, I got that one. But when I was looking for my 3rd free book, I came across this one, Big Fan, by Alexandra Romanoff, and I just, first of all, really love the cover. I think this is so cute, and I think this is like the publishers, I think it's A31 Stories. Their book covers are so freaking cute, and I'm trying not to just get them because I like the covers and make sure that I actually like the stories. This book was like only $6. And so when I was looking for my third book, I found this one first, but it wasn't a part of the buy two get one free discount, so I just like got it anyways because it was only $6. And my like whole thing is like, I'll pay for a book for $6, honestly. So like not doing well because I don't appreciate that I got 4 books at the same time, because I'm really trying to do better about just reading one book and then getting myself a next one rather than having like a really long TBR, because honestly that's what burnt me out from reading in the first place, is just looking at how many books I have on my shelf that were unread. But I say that to say, I know I'm thinking I'm really gonna like this book. She's a rising star in the political world, and then she like has an encounter with her boy band crush from when she was younger. And I think it's like something about political ambitions and like, I don't know, like PR and whatnot, which I think is really interesting. I don't work in PR, but I do like work in like the marketing and advertising, which I feel like PR is like a subset. It's not a subset, it's a completely different thing. But I feel like they're kind of similar. So I don't know. I liked the cover. I liked the idea of like boy band, second chance, whatever, or first chance really. So I got this one. So that was my rant on the books that I've got. And I will be so honest. I have one more coming tomorrow because earlier this year, I have been reading the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, because I've just heard so many people talk about how much they liked it on TikTok, and I like wanted something like easy to read. And I started reading it earlier this year and loved it. I loved the first one, I loved the second one, and then I was like, oh, you're telling me that A Curse for True Love isn't out in paperback yet. So I had to take a break on reading that because I did not want the hardcover, but the paperback gets released tomorrow actually, so I went ahead and pre-ordered that. So that one's coming tomorrow, and I'm very excited. So those are the books that I'm currently like on my shelf, or like the ones that I just got that I plan to read fairly soon or at some point. I think it's so funny that I've done this because I went to visit a friend a couple of weeks ago, and we like were going around the table talking about like things we're reading, and like all my friends know me as like the reader. And it was so funny because they're like, Scotland, what are you reading? And I was like, I'm actually not reading anything. I gave up reading for the New Year's. It was so funny how I said it to myself. Like everybody else laughed, but it was funny to me how I was like, oh no, I gave up reading for New Year's, as if like that's not everyone's, like a lot of people's New Year's resolution is to read more. I just felt like I was reading way too much, and that it was like getting in the way of like what I actually started reading for, which was writing. I'm saying all of that to say it's funny that I said that like not even 2 weeks ago, and I just bought 4 books. So that's that. Now, while I did just get all those books, that's actually not what I'm going to do tonight. I'm actually going to work on a short film script that I've been wanting to work on for a while. Yesterday, I went to like this really cool independent like premiere, this independent film premiere for like short films, and it was really nice. And I like didn't know anyone there. I went by I knew one person there, but like just through passing, like we're not friends or anything, but I had just met her at like another film mixer in Dallas, and like she was a part of the short film that was premiering last night. So I just went ahead and like signed up to go see both of the films that were playing. So I went by myself, which was like, I like doing things by myself because it's scary and it gives me a chance to like prove to myself that I can do hard things by myself and I don't need to be codependent on other people. So it was a very scary thing to do because I was surrounded by people who knew each other and I was just kind of sitting there by myself. But the films were so good, and I like really wanted to get outside of my bubble and like start to interact with people in the area who are also into filmmaking. And it was like a really good spark of inspiration, which is what I've really been needing to do, which is why I've slowed down on reading, because I felt like reading so much was like blocking my own creativity and making it really difficult for me to like come up with my own ideas for things. And so I've taken a break from that pretty much, and I've just really been focusing on like writing my pilot, which I have finished the pilot script, like the first draft, but right now I'm working on a second draft, and it's been so difficult just figuring out like writing is hard because I'm kind of just in like an echo chamber and like trying to figure out how to like re-spark an inspiration for something new in the story. So anywho, I've been rambling for way too long, because I know if I was watching this video I would have been like, all right girl, where are you going with this? But my point is, I'm working on a script tonight. I don't know why I feel like my camera's a little broken. I'm just not realizing, because the focus has not been great. I really hope that wasn't all bad, but Anywho, my point is I'm gonna work on my short film tonight and work on like writing the beginning parts of the script. But I'm also gonna finish eating dinner or making dinner, so we'll catch up later. I'm gonna go back and actually check to make sure that this was in focus. I got these new pajamas from Aerie and they're my favorite. I literally just got them, so maybe it's a little premature to say they're my favorite, but I'm pretty sure they're my favorite.